We've arrived at the little house Wayside, and the thing I always notice most is how all the land's been cleared for farmland. Now, this is probably one of the places that's the most different during the festival days. There's a lot more activity here. When you come on a normal day, it's just sort of you in the cabin. And there's a lot of stuff going on today, mostly having to do with quilts. So it's well worth a visit, I think. It is just in the approximate location of where Laura's cabin was. This was not the spot that was the farmstead that traditionally went with the land Pa owned. This is not where rocks that may or may not have been part of the original foundation were located, but this is very close to where that was, and was where they were able to get land, and it was land owned by Pa. They've been adding extra things out here at the cabin too. They're having music and old-fashioned stilts. They're working on doing sewing cards, and then the slightly older girls are working on actually sewing a quilt square. Quilts have totally taken over the little house for this weekend, and they have another activity in here, and they also do storytelling, illustrating it with cards showing a particular quilt block. And this is Jean, who designed the t-shirt I'm wearing today.
Put all of those together step by step, and then so goes all the way. Then you sew something this way and this and this, and
it has all the instructions.
yes, because there's more than that's right.
All right, I wanted to just say how terrific Laura Days and what a fun experience it's been for my 5-year-old and 3-year-old. We've bought things, we've looked at things, we've done so many things, but one of the favorite things is in the activity center they were able to make their own corncob doll, and they had all the different calicos there and materials for hair, and even though we bought Charlotte at the gift store, that doll means so much to them. They got to sing with the little Laura sisters. They can't wait to go on the wagon ride, and this whole thing has just been so embracing of the spirit of Laura and the spirit of family, and we've just enjoyed it so much. So thank you, Pepin.
This always cracks me up because it's right around the waterfront. In between all these shops, they have to put these little signs on it. Private home. This is the only shirt I've seen so far that tempts me. If you're rich, you're in New York. If you're famous, you're in LA. If you're lucky, you're in Lake Pepin. Well, that was totally worth being a little late for, and I hope you enjoyed the ride on the boat. And I should mention that there's lots of stuff to do in Pepin that I didn't get a chance to get to, or that I didn't get footage of. Really, you can easily fill a weekend in Pepin. I should also mention that they do have a parade, which seems to be a really big deal locally. All the local people have to turn out for the parade. Basically, the entire town shuts down, and I just barely got out of there because most of the roads are already blocked off because the parade is just getting underway. So I will catch you just a little later. Bye. A lot of this area south of Pepin is sort of backwater, and it is actually a lot of it owned by the federal government. There are places where you can get in to fish or hunt. There's also a National Eagle Center right up down the road here, and Nelson has a very famous ice cream parlor. But while there are plenty of other interesting places to stop, like Pepin County's restored one-room school, we're not going to have time for any of that today because we are heading home as quickly as possible, because actually I'm leaving about 2.5 hours later than I normally like to, and I have to open up the library tomorrow. So we're going to give this our best effort. We'll see how it gets. Make time, so I haven't stopped at too many places, but I did want to just give a shout out here to the giant Hereford in Plainview, which I love Herefords because we raise them, and I just think this is the neatest statue. I just love it to death, so I wanted to include it. Since I'm passing through Spring Valley anyway, I took a quick detour over to see if the Wilder barn is still standing. This barn is believed to have been built during the time that the Wilder family lived here, and is supposed to have Almanzo's initials engraved inside. They've been talking about tearing it down, but it looks like so far it's still standing. I should mention that the people who own the barn, it is private property, and they do not appreciate Wilder visitors at all. So basically don't really attempt to approach the barn at all. Stay on the public road and take any pictures you want from there. Well, next stop was the church museum, and boy, it looks like things are going on there. It looks like they've replaced the roof, and we'll see if I can get in. Well, I guess I just wasn't fast enough. The place is shut up tighter than a drum, and my backup plan also failed, so I guess we won't get to go in here, which is really kind of sad. I haven't made it inside Spring Valley for a couple years because things keep coming up. But nonetheless, I guess it's time to push on. So we'll see where we end up. And I just pulled in back home. Thanks you for coming to Pepin with me. I hope you had as good a time as I did, and that you will insist on going to Pepin's Laura Days next year.